"You'll make the wedding awkward," she said. Her voice was too calm for what she was asking. My stepdaughter stood in the doorway, arms folded like she was defending something sacred. Behind her, my wife kept her eyes on the floor. No one else in the room spoke. Just the sound of the clock, each tick landing heavier than the last. My family begged me, "Please, just stay home." So I smiled, said, "Okay." That was all. One word. One perfect word. The next morning, before the sun had burned the mist off the yard, my phone rang. A man's voice, low, trembling. "The accounts, the trust, my God, man, what did you just do?" I stepped out into the cold air, watching my breath fade like smoke. "I did what was fair," I said, and hung up. But fairness isn't what this was. It was something colder, something earned. It began months ago. Subtle things. A new phone she guarded like a secret. The way she laughed softer when certain messages came in. The way my stepdaughter avoided eye contact when I entered a room, as if she'd been rehearsing someone else's truth. At first, I told myself I was paranoid. Age does that. It makes you suspicious of quiet rooms. Then one night, I overheard her talking on speakerphone, thinking I was asleep. I didn't catch the words, only his tone. Familiar, confident. The kind of voice that's used to getting what it wants. Her new son-in-law's father. I remembered his handshake, strong, lingering too long when he met my wife. I remembered his eyes flicking toward her when she spoke. A flicker too curious for politeness. That's when the itch began. The kind that no amount of logic can scratch. I became careful, methodical, never angry. Anger makes noise. I preferred silence. I started with the small things. Phone records, a trail of late-night messages deleted but recoverable. A dinner receipt from a hotel 2 towns over, billed to her name but signed by his hand. Then the photos. Nothing explicit, just close. Close enough to confirm what words never could. I kept everything in a folder labeled estate planning. No one ever checked it. Weeks passed. My wife grew more affectionate, almost performative. Guilt can mimic love when it needs to. Her daughter, my stepdaughter, was busy with wedding plans. She wanted to keep the peace. I could see it in her eyes. She knew. She just didn't want the illusion shattered before the big day. So I waited. Waited for the right kind of silence. The one that comes before collapse. The truth came to me in numbers, not words. I traced the funding for the wedding. A trust account tied to my investments. My signature forged. Her lover's company listed as a consultant. She hadn't just betrayed me emotionally. She'd used me to fund her daughter's fairy tale. That's when everything inside me went still. Not broken, not enraged, just still. I didn't confront her. I didn't shout. I simply walked into her study one evening and placed a sealed envelope on her desk. Inside was a printout of every transaction, every message, every photo. When she opened it, her breath caught. "Where did you—" I cut her off. "Don't. Just read." She did. Her hands trembled. When she reached the last page, she couldn't meet my eyes. I watched her face collapse in on itself. "Please, please, I can explain." I stood there, quiet, calm. "Don't. You've already said enough." And then I left the room. I didn't attend the wedding. That morning, while they toasted love and loyalty beneath chandeliers I paid for, I met with my lawyer. We transferred every asset out of the shared trust. Every account she'd touched was frozen. The new father-in-law's firm, the one she'd helped, was audited by the board within hours. By the time the first dance began, his phone was buzzing non-stop. By the time the cake was cut, he was already pale, whispering to his accountant in the corner. And when he finally called me, his voice shaking, desperate, I said nothing more than, "It's all yours now." Then I hung up. I didn't go to the reception. I didn't answer the dozen calls that followed. That night I sat by the window, watching the lights from their rented hall flicker across the field. I wondered how long it would take before they realized the gravity of what I'd undone. The house was quiet, empty in a new, cleaner way. There's peace in silence when you've earned it. They called it revenge. It wasn't. It was balance. And when the final light from the hall went dark, I closed the blinds, poured a drink, and finally felt nothing.